Hong Kong has just been formally incorporated into the People's Republic of China. But the international community seems to have forgotten that Tibet was incorporated into China in the same way in 1951. Tibet became part of China under the same system of national regional autonomy that is now being applied to Hong Kong. Thus, Tibet was guaranteed political and cultural autonomy. The Chinese government soon ignored its promises and instead seized complete control of the Tibetan plateau. This was an event of enormous importance in the history of Asia, a conquest that altered the regional balance of power and advanced China's territorial ambitions. To realize how important occupied Tibet is to China, we need to remember that it comprises more than 1/4 of the landmass of China. It is the riverhead of Asia's waters. In addition, central and western Tibet have enormous mineral resources, including one of the Earth's largest uranium deposits. Tens of millions of pounds worth of lumber have also been taken from eastern Tibet. Back in the early 50s, the Tibetans initially cooperated with the Chinese under the 17-point agreement. But when the Chinese government started to break its promises, the Tibetan people protested, and this led to an uprising and armed conflict. There was little media coverage of this uprising or of the Chinese invasion of Tibet that followed, nor of the subsequent state-sponsored famine. The only details we have were collected from refugees who escaped on foot over the Himalayas. From that time on, China has maintained control by force. Tibet is a police state. However, the Tibetans have not been cowed, and when Beijing briefly relaxed its control in the mid-1980s, Tibetan Buddhism and ethnic pride rebounded, as did demands for cultural and political rights. A pervasive security force of the People's Armed Police and the People's Liberation Army is ever present. Arbitrary arrest, detention, torture, and summary execution are routine instruments of state control. In 1987, 1988 and 1989, Chinese troops opened fire on Tibetan demonstrators. Given that Beijing has so consistently violated the terms of its agreement with Tibet, it would seem only a matter of time before the same will happen in Hong Kong. But if it doesn't, it will be only because the eyes of the world are on Hong Kong. The question we must ask ourselves is this: what can we do to focus the world's eyes on Tibet?